I'm Dr. Barry, licensed psychologist, and here I share legal and entertainment news from a psychological perspective. Today, I wanted to talk about this very tragic case of Darnell Taylor. Please, this is a difficult one, so if you want to skip this one, please do. This story has a very tragic end, and the guardian of Darnell is currently facing legal proceedings related to his death. Based on reporting, this story goes back to 2022 when Darnell was removed following an incident with his biological mother. And during that incident back in 2022, it seems like his mother might have been having a mental health crisis and social services became involved. And during that time, based on this reporting, it sounds like a grandparent ended up having custody of him and was struggling with some of his behaviors. And Pammy Maye was a family friend who ended up taking custody of Darnell. And during that original incident, Darnell's biological mother had placed him outside or calling her a bad name. And she initially told police it was for about 5 minutes, but somebody said that he had been outside for alone for about an hour. And his grandparents, like I said, they ended up taking custody. They needed help. And so they sought out May in order to just help support the family. But they had not seen him since July of 2023. And it's my understanding that there were court proceedings that were going to happen because both the paternal and maternal grandparents were seeking to be able to have visitation with him because they had been completely cut off by Pammy May. And Pammy May, so she has no legal history, and the prosecutor has said that she has a diagnosis of bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, and that she has exhibited troubling behavior in the past, such as being very possessive and controlling. I wonder if the family wasn't fully aware of this behavior because the manner and the reason why this child is not here anymore is just so sad. So, Pammy May, it sounds like in the middle of the night, she discovered that Darnell had some candy in his bed. And this is really normal behavior for children that they might sneak. They might sneak food or snacks into their room when they're not supposed to. And an appropriate response would be to let them know that's not safe. Like, that's not like, because so if you have food in your room, if you're hoarding food in your room, if you're storing food in your room, that we can get bugs. And so what you do is you just make sure that they don't do that. Now, for a child that's been adopted or that's being fostered, sometimes having food can sometimes help them feel safe. And so there have been situations where I've recommended having just a Tupperware container with some healthy snacks. And but for a child as young as 5, we might decide whether we did give them access there or if we maybe had a yes table where there was food that was available that if they wanted a granola bar or if there were these healthy snacks, fruit, and if they wanted any of this, that at any point, if they asked for it, they would always be told yes. But if they asked for it right before dinner, it might be, yes, you can have it. You just have to eat your dinner first, and then you can have that snack. And in most cases, children, they will eat their dinner and then want dessert or not even want the snack, but just in that moment being told no and not having access to food can sometimes trigger a survival response. And so that's where when I'm working with adoptive families or when I'm working with foster families, especially so this child was removed from his birth mother, from his birth family and completely cut off. And I think in this situation, it sounds like he was exhibiting normal kid behavior for any child, and especially a child that had experienced adoption trauma. And let's play this video. Once again, warning, it is quite disturbing.
2 months ago. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Andrew Kinsey.
And I'm Yolanda Harris. This case started in the early morning hours of Valentine's Day. Columbus police issued an Amber Alert after Darnell was first reported missing. Days later, his legal guardian, Pammy Maye, was arrested near Cleveland, and she told police where they could find the little boy's body. Now, we do want to warn you, the news story tonight may be hard to watch. So let's now bring in 10 TV's Angela Ann, who went through her confession. And Angela, what did Pammy Maye have to say?
Definitely difficult to listen to all of that video, Yolanda. This was not easy, but Pammy Maye did not hold back in describing in detail how she suffocated her son and then tossed him down what she called a manhole. Well, tonight, we know now that it was all because that little boy snuck some snacks into his bed. And that's what Pammy Maye says triggered her to kill him.
At least you had children. I had a son. I took your advice, so yeah.
Pammy Maye showed little.
And so to me, in this moment, because she was found running around, she was on the run for about 2 days. For about 48 hours, they had been looking for her. She walked into a business and asked to use somebody's phone to be able to call her husband, that he would know why she was calling him. And they are evaluating her because she seems disoriented, and she is going to confess to what she did. And the disturbing part for me is this is her foster guardian. This child, in my opinion, should have been able to have access to his birth family. And it's just sad that there wasn't something in place as she obtained legal guardianship that didn't make sure that this child's rights and that his birth family's rights were not protected in this process.
Little emotion as she recounted over and over how she suffocated Darnell Taylor in his bed.
Did he move at all during any of this?
When I first did it, no, 10 minutes later, I knew he was dead because he wasn't moving.
Only a few times, Maye showed remorse.
It was so sad.
Yet even when a nurse comes in, Maye refused to stop confessing to the crime.
Sorry to interrupt. They ordered CT scans on her.
Okay.
They are ready for it. I don't know how long you guys need.
Can you pull up just a little bit?
Yeah, this is more important.
Okay.
It ain't about my concern. This is about my taking somebody's life.
10 TV went through more than 30.
Now, once again, even if there was some psychosis, even if there was a delusion, even if there was something like that going on, they are going to try to establish what was her state of mind at the time of the crime. And the fact that she hid his body, all of the different things that she did, she may still be able to be found legally responsible for this. It is very concerning to me that it sounds like if she was not on medication, if she was not being monitored, how she was able to get custody or guardianship of this child really, really baffled me. And there are people with these diagnoses that are well managed, that are able to safely care for their children, and for relatives, for people around them to just watch out for what are the signs that they're not okay, that they do need monitoring, that they do need to go get checked out, or that they don't need to have unsupervised contact with a child.
30 videos during Maye's arrest. She tells detectives she caught Darnell eating snacks in bed earlier in the day, angering her and prompting her to plan out the killing.
And she's going to go into the fact that this was premeditated. So it was earlier in the day. She waited. And so this could show that she was planning and that this wasn't a psychotic break, that in this moment she didn't find this and then impulsively do this. It sounds like this was planned. And it'll be interesting to see if they do televise this, if there are mental health experts that come in. Based on what I've heard so far, it does sound like she can be held legally responsible for this, in my opinion. It will be up to the jury and to the medical professionals that do evaluate her to determine if she was legally insane, and that's the language or the term, if she was legally incapacitated due to a mental condition. And that is very, very hard to prove, and it rarely happens. Like, normally it's somebody that is caught in the moment, and like they are exhibiting behavior that is so strange and so outrageous, and they don't hide the crime, and they think that they're acting on, I don't know, like some voices, or it does not sound like anything like that was happening in this moment based on what we've heard so far.
It's all premeditated because it's not like I did it then.
We like to bring DJ home. Okay, so we're going to try to find him where you described.
Okay.
I'd like to have another conversation with you.
You're going to find him there.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
So she ended up placing him in a manhole. So in like a sewer drain, she ended up placing him there, and they were able to recover his body there.
Well, we spoke with Pammy Maye's attorney tonight, especially about the fact that she used that word premeditated herself several times during that confession. Sam Szymanski says he has not seen this video himself, but he told me, quote, "We don't consider her post-arrest comments as dispositive of her mental state at the time of the commission of the offense." In other words, her attorney is not disputing anything she said in that confession, but he's noting the fact that just because someone understands the nature of an offense after it is committed, it doesn't mean that they weren't suffering from something in the moment that it took place. So certainly a story we will continue to.
And the concerning part for me is the fact that she had found the item earlier and that she went back to harm him later. Like, that's the part that seems planned to me. I'm also going to show a little bit of her court.
We are continuing to learn more about the fallout of the death of 5-year-old Darnell Taylor. Today, Pammy Maye, the woman accused of killing 5-year-old Darnell Taylor, went in front of a judge. Maye received a $4 million bond. She's charged with murder, kidnapping, and endangering a child. 10 TV has been following this story since the day that Amber Alert went out for Darnell. And we were in court this morning during Pammy's arraignment hearing. 10 TV's Tara Jabor joins us live now from the courthouse with more on Maye's appearance. Tara?
Well, Yolanda, Pammy Maye appeared virtually before a judge this morning, and a prosecutor said that she has no identifiable record. Now, on February 14th, an Amber Alert went out after Pammy Maye's husband called 911 saying that Pammy Maye had killed their 5-year-old Darnell Taylor and that she was leaving the home. Now, a day and a half later, police found Pammy Maye in Cleveland, distraught, out of business. Maye told police that she suffocated and killed 5-year-old Darnell Taylor and put his body in a sewage drain on Marsdale Avenue. Today, the prosecutor said Maye has mental health issues.
She has mental health issues, bipolar and schizophrenia, as well as possessive or controlling behavior in the past.
And once again, why she was able to end up having access to a child is beyond me. Beyond me. Custody cases, custody issues can bring out the absolute worst of situations, and that is why sometimes protective orders are needed, supervised visitation, and there are just so many horrific and tragic things. I will definitely continue to follow this case, and if there is any mental health testimony, any mental health experts that are streamed, that I can share some of that, or any news articles that cover that thoroughly, I will definitely share that. I'm an adoption competent therapist. I work with clients that are adult adoptees because adoption doesn't only impact children, it can impact people into their adulthood, into their adult lives. And often the resources and supports that people receive, sometimes they'll stop once they turn 18. And so these are things that I'm really passionate about. And I just wanted to share that update in this case that I will definitely be following. Let me know if y'all have questions or any cases that y'all would like for me to follow in the future. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.